There's a beautiful place in Korea where they give you delicious Korean food for free. In fact, they pay you money to eat their food. And it's a heavenly place called the South Korean Army. That's right, guys. When a Korean man turns 18, he is now required to serve in the military for 18 months. It's a place where you make a lot of interesting memories, but most Korean men would have a lot to say about their food. The food can be a little unique in unexpected ways, and a lot of Korean men would tell you that they miss the food that they used to get in the military. My God, these are good. While others say it's worse than a prison meal. So, do you guys wonder what kind of food Korean men eat for 2 years of their lives? Then you want to keep watching this video because for the next 24 hours, I'll be eating exactly what I ate back when I was a military man. Let me tell you, it's really something. Before we try the food from the Korean military, I have to tell you guys that back when I was in the military, the pay was only like $50 a month and I was always short of money. But times are really good now because there is an easy way to make some extra cash for food budget while having fun like playing mobile games or answering surveys. And that's with today's sponsor, FreeCash. FreeCash is an online platform that lets you make real money just by playing games or completing simple tasks. It's completely free to sign up and there are always different offers available. So you can just pick one, follow the steps and start earning. You can literally make money while you're on the train or just relaxing before bed. One quick tip, make sure you allow ad tracking so FreeCash can properly track your progress. Once you've reached your withdrawal threshold, which is $25, you can head to the cash out section and withdraw earnings via PayPal, all kinds of gift cards and more. And spend it on whatever you want. I think I'm gonna spend it on some good delivery food. They also have a 4.7 rating on Trustpilot, so you know it's legit. If you use the link in the description or use the QR code, you can get a $10 bonus after finishing your first offer. So definitely give it a try. Now, let's go spend some of that money and prepare some military meals. Breakfast time. When you have food in the Korean military, they serve all of your food on a metal tray like this, which most Koreans are used to because they have the same thing in their schools. And gentle people, I have my amazing military breakfast prepared right here. As a former Korean Army man, I must tell you guys about the only cutlery that you guys are allowed to use while in the military, and that is their spork. It's almost like they're trying to make you feel like it's a prison. This is a 10 out of 10 breakfast. So unfortunately in the South Korean military, the resources are quite limited and they always ration the food. But if you're hungry, they do allow you to get as much white rice as you want. For breakfast, they always give you a pack of milk. I'm gonna start with the soybean stew. It actually looks and feels very similar to the ones that I had in the military. Guys, I'm so hungry right now. Wow, that's extremely salty, just like how it was in the military. Sometimes they give you dried seaweed. I do something like this. Now let's try their side dishes. Look at this 계란말이. It's like a Korean egg omelette with some vegetables inside. Wow, this is actually not a bad meal. And this is the only form of freedom that you're allowed to have in the military. The freedom of eating as much kimchi as you want. One of the most popular side dishes in the military is this thing called 제육볶음, which is a spicy marinated pork. You get it quite often, probably like once a week at least. And while it looks spicy, it's actually not that spicy. It's more sweet than spicy in my opinion. I'm not proud to tell you guys this, but in the South Korean military, there's a lot of abusive practices, or at least they used to have them. If you first joined the military, and if you're a private, you weren't allowed to move your head while you're eating. You were also not allowed to put the other arm on the table, so this is how you would eat. I was supposed to do that too, but I didn't because I'm like 3 times their size. I was already depressed to be in the military. I wasn't gonna let them abuse me. I have to say, while these are just recreations of what I had in the military, everything feels almost exactly the same as how I had it before. It's crazy. Because like I said, the military service in Korea is mandatory. Some people really don't want to join the military, and when it happens to them, it's really hard on them. And I was one of those people. Man, this 제육볶음 is really good. I also remember the shock when I ate in the boot camp for the first time and their food was horrible. Like, how are we supposed to fight our northern neighbor just eating white rice and drinking salt water? Actually, it might be very possible because our northern neighbor is probably just drinking salt water. I'm sorry, it's not supposed to be funny. I saw this photo on the internet one day. It was a comparison between Korean prison food and the military food, and the prison food was marginally better. Back then, I was grateful to have a pack of milk every day. And when I learned that the US Army has unlimited Coca-Cola, I felt so betrayed by my own country. So, lunchtime. Imagine you're a South Korean soldier and you just got your butt kicked by the officers, but you just walked into the dining hall and you're welcomed by this. Uncle Jimmy, I don't know what's so special about it. It looks like a poor person meal to me. Well, check your privilege, soldier. You only get to have a meal like this in the Korean military on a pretty lucky day. Starting with the main course, it's the Korean-style curry rice. It's very different from the Indian curry. I would say the spices are a lot weaker. And the soup that I have here is something that you get very often in the military. They call it sogogi mukguk, which means beef radish stew. This one's almost identical to how I had it in the military. You know, how there's like a lot of radish but not too much meat. We got some beautiful side dishes here too. Soy braised quail eggs, another form of kimchi called chive kimchi, and this is apparently many Korean soldiers' favorite, and it's stir-fried sausage with vegetables. Comrades, I am hungry. May I? Yeah, as depressing as it can be in the military, sometimes the food was quite pleasant. By the way, I feel like I have to let you guys know though, the portion size of the food that I'm showing you guys here, it's definitely larger than what you would get in the Korean military, which I think is something they should improve. As far as I remember, many soldiers complain that the protein-based side dishes are way too limited. That's why getting these was a lucky event. Wow, so nostalgic. So like I was saying earlier, being in the army wasn't easy for me. In fact, I took it way worse than other people. So much so that I became extremely depressed, and people that were living in the same space as me became extremely concerned, and they've decided that I should be evaluated for my mental fitness. And I'm not ashamed to say this, but they put me through this program called Green Camp. It sounds like Green Beret, but it's like the complete opposite. It's a place where you get sent to for like a week or two, and they put you through some therapies and healing programs while reviewing whether you can continue to serve or not. And if they decide that you have a mental illness, then they actually waive your military service and you are dishonorably discharged. It's been so long now, so I'll be honest. I had a girlfriend at the time and there was a lot of external pressure outside of the military. So I was kind of excited that I just might get out of the military fast. But when I joined the Green Camp, I realized that was not gonna happen. The other people that were sent to Green Camp with me, these guys were so mentally unfit to be in the military. I'm not exaggerating, these are people with like 70 IQ, people with schizophrenia, like they claim they can see ghosts, or people that are just deeply depressed. Compared to these guys, I was like a super soldier. Let me tell you a very disturbing story about one of those individuals. So this guy, let's call him Tae. Tae wasn't necessarily an evil guy or a dangerous individual, but he was clearly very slow in the head. And he had like zero impulse control. One day we were watching TV and it was like a music channel. So they had like female K-pop dancers dancing on screen. Tae would see it, cover himself with the blanket among other people, and start wiggling violently. God knows what he was doing wiggling under the blanket, but it didn't take long for him to reach out for some toilet papers. Apparently he's shown that behavior many times where he was stationed, and I saw that and I was like, yeah, I guess I'm finishing my service. Yeah, I remember that guy. He really liked these small sausages. Just because you're in the military, it doesn't mean that you don't get to enjoy some snacks. The South Korean military has kind of a supermarket called PX, and that's where we can get our snacks. And these were my favorite when I was in the military. Why don't we start with the most iconic snack? The choco pie. I'm sure you guys saw this in an Asian supermarket before. It's a Korean snack that's been around for generations. It's a round chocolate pie, and when you bite it, this is so nostalgic. I haven't really had it since I got out of the military. Now I feel like I became Private Jimmy again. In the chocolate, there's a layer of breadcrumbs and marshmallow. The reason that they have it often in the military is because the churches and the Buddhist temples inside the military, they're supplied with boxes and boxes of choco pies. So each time you go there to pray, they give you like 2 choco pies to go back to your base with. And in the military, these might as well be currency. So people often get choco pies for free, but these, you have to pay good money to get these. These are chocolate digest cookies. Looks like you guys have it in other countries too. And this is a Korean nacho. And I used to love having both of them at the same time. In Korea, you often have these kind of snacks in social gatherings. So for you to easily share the snack, there's a certain way of opening it. Instead of ripping open the top, you would open the side of the bag, so you can kind of use it as a plate too. Wow, this is a sour cream onion flavor. It hasn't changed. It is still really good. This bag of nacho, I believe, was about 60 or 70 cents back then. I'm sure it's pretty similar now as well. Guys, you guys can do this at home too. With the nachos, get these chocolate flavored digest. Crazy, crazy sweet. Sweet, savory, sweet, savory. There's very little to enjoy in the military, so this was like a contrast therapy for me. I think some of you guys might be wondering, if the snacks are like 70 cents only, you would get them all the time, right? The truth is, even 70 cents was too expensive for me. Because back many years ago when I was in the military, for your mandatory service, they used to only pay like $50 a month. You heard that right, $50 a month. And you were only allowed to make phone calls to the outside world using that money as well. And they charged a lot for phone calls. So if somebody had like a girlfriend, you ended up spending more money on phone calls than what you would make the entire month. Kind of crazy, right? Penny soldiers get to have their own cell phones now, which is huge. I think that would make the military life like 10 times better. Oh, and they now get paid like $1,000 a month too, which would be a ton of money to spend at the supermarket there. To them, it must be like all you can eat. Yeah, back when I was there, people would steal each other's choco pie. Even your underwears were stolen very frequently. Oh, Uncle Jimmy, there's no way. Who would steal underwears? People actually stole underwears. Hopefully they stole mine to actually wear them, not to take it under their blankets like Tay. This is called Narangdu Saida. It's a Korean soda that I was introduced to while I was in the military. Think of it as kind of a Sprite, but it has 0 calories. If you guys want to hear about what happened to Tay after the Green Camp, well, he actually remained in the military and finished the entire 2-year service. So I felt really bad for him. He shouldn't have been in the military from the start. Like, what would I do if he was my partner and we're at war with a northern neighbor and Tay and I are completely pinned down in a position and our enemies are shooting machine guns at us and he just goes, "Comrade Jimmy, I must make myself happy right now, I can't control it." And he covers himself with a blanket and starts wiggling again in the middle of a battlefield. Actually, that might work. I think the enemy soldiers might be like, "What is happening? This must be a dream." And they'll be all confused, and that's when I'll pull out my gun and give it back to them. And I might accidentally Tay too for doing those K-pop dancers dirty. To me, this combination was a military-grade antidepressant. The side effect is weight gain. Looks like dinner's here, and this has a lot of things that I like. If you got this for dinner, this is definitely one of the better days. Got a fried egg with purple rice. I really love the soup that I have here. The soup that we have here is called 부대찌개, which translates to army stew. You guys might have heard about it. It's a soup with kimchi, canned beans, sausages, and spam. You know, like this spam that you guys love. So the origin of this stew is quite interesting. So after the Korean War, the US military remained in South Korea, and they would sometimes throw away their leftover supplies and leftover food. And because South Korea was so impoverished, these people would pick up things like sausages and ham and made a stew from it to fill themselves up. Apparently, that's how army stew was born. The origin story doesn't make it sound very appetizing, but it's actually quite delicious, and a lot of people enjoy it to this day. Just like any Korean food, it has a lot of kimchi in it too. You also see this often in Korea. It's braised tofu. You can easily make it too, and it's pretty awesome to have with the rice. And this is called mumalengi, which is a form of kimchi made from dried radish. This is actually one of my favorites. Comrade Tae used to really like this one. This is Korean style anchovies. In Korean, we call anchovies 멸치. We also call extremely skinny people 멸치 to insult them. But please, don't use that word to insult people. Although a lot of people fall in the category here, so it'll come in real handy if you need to insult them. Because I was so insecure about my body weight as a kid, I wished that someone would call me 멸치. Because everybody used to call me 돼지, which was extremely mean and hurtful. Yeah guys, Koreans can be real nasty and very critical of your appearance. Even in the military, the bullies really go for the ugly ones. Looking back, I feel like the most difficult thing about being in the military is definitely isolation. Because you're like a 21-year-old kid and you're suddenly put in this very rural place in Korea. Things are a little different now, but back in the days, you hardly had any internet access and you also didn't have smartphones. So your daily routine was honestly not too far from being in prison. And I had a girlfriend who was beautiful, but also was badgering me all the time. It seems that those two traits go hand in hand, and it was just so tough because I felt so powerless for 2 years. I was broke and I couldn't make a single dollar during that time. But at the end of the day, I do feel like I'm in a better place in life because of those days. Wakey wakey guys. It's 10 p.m., official bedtime for the South Korean military. And during the bedtime, you're not supposed to consume food. But in reality, a lot of people break that rule. So now I'm going to show you guys the most popular nighttime snack for the Korean soldiers. And that is none other than instant noodles. Now the problem is, in your living quarters, you don't have a kitchen, so this is how they make their instant noodles without getting caught. This I believe is one of the most popular noodles in the military. It's a carbo bulldog noodle, but you can do this with any instant noodle. So you want to carefully open the package. Now you don't have a kitchen in your living quarters, but you typically have boiled water. So this might be terrible for your body, but what they do is they pour the boiling water into this plastic packet, push the noodles in, and very carefully seal the bag. Check for the officers around you. You're supposed to hold it with the chopsticks without breaking it. Oh, oops. If something like this happens, you just find a private and make him hold the bag for you. Although you can't go to military jail for bullying him like that. Be patient and give it some time. I think it's almost done now. You can dump the water. If you feel lazy and if you're evil like half of the people that I've seen there, you can also find a private to dump the water for you. It looks like there's no private around me today, so I'll do it myself. Man, I'm still good at this. The muscle memory is kicking right in. But honestly, I've never abused other people like that in the military. And I was so surprised to see the people that were like otherwise very nice. Even a lot of the really sweet and shy guys, they become really nasty and abusive towards the people that are junior to them. At least for Korean men, I feel like a lot of the abusive relationship with power, I feel like it stems from the military. Like you're given power and authority over other people without really deserving it. Anyway, today I've exercised my own power to make this instant noodle with just a plastic bag. It's going to taste extra good because of the microplastics. Let me get a bite. Wow, I'm not really an instant noodle guy, but I really deserve a Medal of Honor with this one. So when you cook instant noodles like this in the military, they call it boguri. Don't ask me why they call it boguri, they just do. And it's kind of a fun nighttime activity because they really don't have anything else to do. Also, this is really spicy, but it's so good. Well, it was pretty awesome trying all the food that I had in the military for the first time in a long time. Of course, the ones that I prepared were significantly better than the ones that I had in the military, but it made me feel really nostalgic. And I hope you guys get to try these food as well. Now, if you guys have some time, go ahead and watch my other videos. Until we meet again, goodbye, comrades.